In a small village surrounded by green hills lived a poor man named Thomas. He had no land, no wealth, and no family. Every morning, he worked wherever he could, carrying heavy bags, cutting firewood, or helping farmers in their fields. Some days he earned enough to eat. Other days he went to bed hungry. Even though Thomas had very little, he was known throughout the village for one thing: his kind heart. He never spoke harshly to anyone, and whenever someone needed help, he did his best, even if he had nothing to give. One cold evening, after working all day, Thomas finally earned enough money to buy a small loaf of bread and a bowl of vegetable soup. It was the only meal he would have that day. He walked home slowly, smiling because he finally had something warm to eat. As he sat outside his tiny wooden house, just before taking his first bite, he noticed an old traveler standing nearby. The traveler's clothes were torn, his face looked tired, and he was shivering from the cold. "Excuse me," the old man said softly. "I haven't eaten for 2 days. Could you spare a little food?" Thomas looked at his simple meal. He was starving himself, but he looked into the old man's eyes and saw someone suffering even more than he was. Without hesitation, Thomas smiled. "Please," he said, "sit down. We'll share it together." He broke the bread into 2 equal pieces and divided the soup into 2 bowls. The old traveler ate with tears in his eyes. "You have given me your last meal," the traveler said. "Why?" Thomas replied, "Because no one should go hungry if I can help, even a little." The old man smiled warmly. Suddenly, a bright golden light surrounded him. Thomas stepped back in surprise. The traveler was no ordinary man. He was a wise guardian sent to test the kindness of people's hearts. "You have passed the greatest test," the guardian said. "You shared not from your riches, but from your need. That is true generosity." With a wave of his hand, Thomas's small garden became filled with fruit trees, fresh vegetables, and a clear spring of water. His tiny house turned into a cozy home. More importantly, everyone in the village found enough food to eat because Thomas shared his blessings with others instead of keeping them for himself. Years passed, and Thomas became respected not because he was rich, but because he remained humble and generous. He built a small kitchen where anyone who was hungry could enjoy a warm meal. People came from distant villages to hear the story of the poor man who had shared his last meal. They learned that true wealth is measured not by money, but by kindness, compassion, and a willing heart. Thomas lived a long and joyful life, knowing that every act of kindness creates a blessing that spreads far beyond what we can see. Moral of the story: true generosity comes from the heart. When you share with kindness, even in difficult times, your goodness can bring blessings to many lives.